Georgia.
Right now.
Too much.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Rick Zanotti, and next to me is Gina Schreck.
Good
She's
morning.
not quite next to me, but we're next to each other.
We're next to each other. Now I'm hearing an echo. I hear myself.
You hear yourself.
Maybe that's just me.
Okay,
so
it's the meds. It's the meds.
It's the meds. The voices are in my head. I do have to tell everyone once again, if you are just tuning in, I am on a remote location, so I am not able to be in the chat room with you. So if you have questions for us today or for our guest that I will announce shortly, we need you to tweet them with the hashtag SchreckTeck, because then I can, on my phone, I can at least get that. But I thought if I went and logged on to our show on my computer and Skype, it may just crash the whole thing. So
sounds good.
So,
Rick, now today we have, I've been thinking about Georgia. How about you?
I've been thinking about Georgia. You know, it's been on my mind.
Yep, Georgia's been on my mind too.
You guys are a trip.
So who's our guest today, Gina?
I'm guessing Georgia. We actually have a good friend of mine, Georgia McCabe. And Georgia, you and I have known each other for quite a while through the Speakers Association. But and several connections. I feel like I should be singing. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet a good friend of mine, coming from the Smoky Hills. Oh, no. Okay. But we have Georgia McCabe, or on Twitter, we all know and love her as at Mama Gigi. Welcome, Georgia. We'll stop our silliness, I promise.
Hey, Georgia, how are you?
Good, Rick. How are you?
I am doing well.
Rick got so much better on his piano than I remember.
That's a lot of
You
practice.
sitting on top of it.
I have calluses on my fingers from that practice, right?
Oh, that's so funny. You're making me laugh early, and now my eyes will water the whole show.
That's okay. Your image is frozen, so it's don't worry.
Is it really?
It has.
Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera off because that usually fixes it, and then I just turn it back on. For those of you who use Skype, that's a little tech tip.
There you
right
go.
there.
You're back.
Just turn that camera off and turn it back on. And if your hair isn't done, your face isn't ready, and you have to get on a video call, just smudge the camera lens. They'll never know. That's another trick. Yeah, but we have Georgia McCabe, and Georgia, you are Mama Gigi, which I've always wanted to ask you this. What does the Mama Gigi stand for?
Well, as I mentioned to you too earlier, I have 6 children and 5 grandchildren. So, and I'm Greek, and so growing up Greek, you always called your mother Mama.
Okay.
And so it's Mama, which is now passed down to my children and my grandchildren,
Love
and
it.
Gigi just stands for Georgia.
Georgia.
So, yeah, I
Love
set
it.
it up a long time ago before I got into social media. And then everybody said, oh, you should change it. And I'm like, no, I like Mama Gigi.
I know. I love that. I love Mama Gigi. You know, it's just, but I bet people meet you and they don't know your name because
I'm Mama Gigi.
you're Mama Gigi, and you're very well known in the social media circles. And you and I do a lot of the same type of work. We work with clients, helping them use social media marketing in their business to grow their business. When did you start, or how did you transition into this business?
It's kind of funny, Gina. My background is I spent 30 plus years in corporate America. And so I worked for companies like IBM, Eastman Kodak, and Fujifilm. My last job, I was senior vice president of the digital imaging division for Fuji.
Wow.
And so I retired. My husband and I retired in 2006 after we had all our 6 kids through college. And that lasted about 2 weeks before I just was absolutely bored stiff. Of my 6 children, I have 2 that are handicapped. And my one son is blind and has cerebral palsy. And all he ever wanted was to have friends. But when people would meet him in person, they, would be kind of taken back by him, until they got to know him. So I ended up building him a website. And then I got him a Skype account, and then I got him a YouTube channel, and I got a Facebook account for him. And it just opened the door for so many possibilities where he built all these relationships. So, I was doing that for kind of my mental well-being and helping him out, and I'm like, wow, this stuff really works. So I put my old marketing hat back on and took some courses and certification, and off it went. And so then a lot of my customers that had worked with me over the years, primarily from the photo industry, said, hey, can you help me out? And then it just became word of mouth. So that's how I got into it. And now I have a very small boutique agency. Primarily, I work with just a handful of clients, Gina, because to do it right, it takes a lot of hard work. But I employ women that have either been displaced out of work, their husbands have been displaced, young girls that are having a hard time getting a job, and so I kind of like to be their Mama Gigi and mentor them and help them out. And so that's what I do. And I speak and I teach. And
I bet you cook a mean Greek cuisine.
Oh, Christos Teneste, Greek Easter was Sunday. Yes, I do. I make all
such
this
an
stuff.
International flavor, I tell you. Last week, Rick was speaking Spanish. Now, Rick, do you know Greek?
I don't know Greek.
You just know Greek food.
I know Greek food.
You know your Greek food, okay.
Yeah, and for people who will follow me on Pinterest, I'll be posting some of my very best recipes.
See, she did it. She said Pinterest within the first 10 minutes.
Georgia, we always try to see if we can make it through a show without saying the
P word.
Well, Gina just said it 6 times. That's okay.
The P word.
Can't be done.
You're cutting out a little bit.
No,
There you go. You're back.
Can you hear me?
Oh, she just left again.
Oh, I hear you.
Okay. She's
Can
going to
you
put
hear
her
me?
video back on. Your video went off.
I did turn my video off.
Okay.
I just turned it off because I thought at least you can hear me. Can you still hear me?
We can hear you. Why don't you put it back on?
Okay, good. I was like, it's silent, so I'm thinking you can't hear me. There we go. Maybe that's better. But anyway, yeah, we love Pinterest. I long for it because I haven't had the time to sit and browse lately. It's been crazy. But
Yeah.
So,
We'll touch
Georgia,
a little on it,
so
but
Georgia,
not
what
as
kind
much.
of services do you do for your clients?
Well, primarily I actually, Rick, everything from either, revamping their websites, building out their blogs, to monthly campaigns for their, maintaining their Facebook pages, their Twitter pages, their Pinterest boards now, YouTube, the whole kit and caboodle. I write blog articles for a lot of them. And then I consult with them. And my goal really with a lot of my clients is, I'll help them get started. But, if they want me to, eventually mentor and train some of their internal people to eventually take over, I'm more than willing to do that as well. That hasn't happened. So I'm very fortunate. Most of the people that I've had, they're still with me. Year-long clients. I've had some for like 3 years now, and which is just before I, kind of got my whole educational thing around this stuff. I also, I just wrote another book in January called Social Morphosis. And it's all about social media, but I took a different tack with that. I actually created a story, a fictional character, a woman I call Alexa Cantor. And she was kind of a young entrepreneur. She was a photographer who had her own studio, and she was afraid of social media. And so it's kind of a little bit of a novel and a little bit of education all rolled up into one. And so that's
cool
going over
idea.
really well. And I have another book coming out in about a month, and that one is called Short Woman, Tall Order. And it's called Modern Female Lifestyle Disorder, people who have MFLD, the women that want it all and won't settle for less. So
That's a disorder?
yeah.
wait, what's MFLD?
Modern Female Lifestyle Disorder. It's like when you're at a teacher conference, and the phone rings and it's a client and you just have to take it. Or, if you're sitting at dinner and you're feeling, guilty because you're not at work. Or if you're at work, you're feeling guilty that you're not with your children. You're under your covers at night, your husband's sound asleep snoring and you're texting your VA,
Yeah.
Now, I can assure you Gina does not suffer from that because she only sleeps 1 hour a night.
Oh boy. Well, I can relate to that, but I think that's because of my age. So, so yeah, that's what I've been up to. So it's exciting. And I actually, Gina, if I had my druthers, I think I would much rather do more of the training and teaching. I love it. I have my little tagline that I call myself the social media sensei. And I have all these little tricks. I'm not ninja tricks. I don't copy that from Mari, but they're like little sensei tricks.
I love it. I love the sensei because, you're the teacher.
Yeah.
You are the teacher.
So I like that.
Well, one thing that I saw that you were talking about, and you're so knowledgeable in this area, and I was blown away by all the stuff you shared about social search. And it's interesting because on Twitter we know we can set up search columns, but you really were delving into Google Plus search and Facebook search, which people don't use.
Yep, I love it. Actually, when Google Plus first came out, I was like, whoa, I got to get on it. And so I found this. And, again, I'll relate to the photography industry, but we can give up tons of different examples with other clients that I work with as well. But one of the things that photographers, really want to do more of is marketing. They don't have a lot of money to spend on marketing. And so when I found Google Plus, and I found this tool called findpeopleonplus.com. And what it allows you to do, and in fact, if you want, Rick, I can actually share my screen,
Sure.
if that would help some of the
Awesome.
people. So let me go up here and share my screen. I have to move my thing over here. Sorry about that. So let's go up here and share screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So basically,
No, I'm not seeing your screen.
You're not seeing my screen.
Do you have 2 monitors?
Yeah, hold on.
It's probably sharing your regular monitor, I think. The
Okay, how
video's
about
still
that
on.
one now?
Not yet.
How about that?
Nope, still have you on screen, but you're frozen now, so that's you've joined Gina in the frozen world.
Okay, so
We're the ice
I-
queens today.
I'll stop sharing screen. I think, honest, Rick, I told you earlier, every time I'm on video, I'm going to go off video and then I'll share it.
Okay.
That's probably it.
Let's do that. And you tell me if you see it now.
There we go.
Okay, so anyway, so this is called findpeopleonplus.com. Okay, findpeopleonplus.com. And what's really cool about this is that it has so many ways that you can search Google. So here you got single, married, engaged, it's complicated, blah, blah, you're looking for friends. You have gender, all the way down. So one of the things that I like to teach the photographers is, because they're always looking for ways to find new clients. And, photography is really cool because, it's kind of a life value of a client. So if you can get somebody when they're engaged, then you hope you get them, you're the photographer when they have their wedding, when they have their first baby, when they get their senior pictures, blah, 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 blah. So I can go in here on Google Plus and I can say, I'm going to search engaged. And let's say I could do both male and female, but I'll just pick female. And somebody's calling somebody.
I don't know who's calling. Did Gina go away?
No.
Maybe Gina went away. Let's go
Somebody's
see.
calling.
No, it's not us.
Okay, it's not me. Anyway, so I then went in and I selected female. Now, if I even wanted to know all the people who are engaged that are female that work at Walmart, I could do that, or I could say all of them that, have a certain career. But instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to search United States. And then I can actually go not only within the United States, I can actually go within what city. So let's go ahead and search. Let's go for LA. Or I could go the whole state if I wanted to. And then lo and behold, all of a sudden this pops up, and here are all the people that have done that. So now if I want to look at Katie K, I just go to Katie K, and I can see information about Katie K, and I can actually add Katie K to circles. So I would add her to one of my circles, which happens to be prospects. And then
I am
have a
loving
whole
this
list.
because we are always looking for ways to find more avenues to connect with specific people. So we may have our, our top list of prospects we're trying to connect with. And I love the ability to go in and search for them here. And then you can connect and find other avenues.
Yeah, and what's also cool, Gina, is you'll notice down here, I can see her Facebook profile. I can actually see her Twitter profile because she's posted that. So if I wanted to direct message her or even message her through Facebook and say, hey, look, I'm a photographer. I understand that you're engaged. I'd love to share with you my profile, or, my portfolio, yada, yada, yada. So it's really amazing. I had another client, and he was actually speaking and teaching and training household appraisers. And apparently the appraiser market has really changed. And so banks used to be able to hire appraisers directly or whatever, but now legally I guess you can't do that. And so he said, I'm really trying to target people that are attorneys that specialize, let's say, in divorce or accountants. So that, let's say someone's going through a divorce, they may need to have their home appraised. And so again, you can go right down there, pick city by state, but then you can actually go into the occupation. So if you come down here, you can actually see there's tons of occupations, from realtors to doctors. There's actually lawyers in here, lawyers right here. And then you can actually modify it to even go even further and try and see if you can query it with, just divorce. Again, creating that is kind of your targeted contact list that you can go out and market to.
So you can put any term, and what it's pulling is is it pulling from their bio only, or is it pulling from text that they have put out there?
I'm pretty sure, Gina, I don't know the answer to that directly, but I'm pretty sure it pulls primarily from their bio.
Okay.
Because as you set up your bio, you can fill in all these things. If you're engaged, it's complicated, all that stuff. What your how old you are. So I believe that's where it's picking it up from.
Okay.
But I don't know specifically if there's any other.
Because I know on Twitter, I have created search columns on Twitter before, on Hootsuite or TweetDeck, where I will put the search term. Does anyone know and then you fill in the blank. So if I'm looking for social media management clients, I would put, does anyone know a social media management company? And you try it a few different ways. Does anyone know a social media company? Does anyone know a social media consultant? And it's interesting because Twitter will pull that from the actual, words that someone tweeted.
Right.
And then you can jump in and answer. And that has been a really great kind of secret tool to use on Twitter to find people looking for your services. I mean, we've done that with the hotels. Does anyone know a great hotel in Denver?
Right.
And if we just keep that search column open, you'll find people asking that question, and then you jump right in with, hey, I'd love to connect with you. Let me give you a special. Or
exactly.
And that's always great.
The thing I love about this one too, Gina, is even for some large companies, I work a lot still with Fuji. And, let's say they want to find the product manager at Google, so I can go in there and I can start now to say, well, my selection is Google. And, dumb thing. And now I want to find, let's say a product manager. And pretty soon they'll start to pop up. So, it's really cool, and you can go down further and further and further. Do you know how hard it was to find information like that about people before?
Yeah, I know.
So, I encourage everybody to kind of check that out. What's that?
And this is called
such a great tool.
And this is called Find People on Google Plus?
Just findpeopleonplus.com.
Findpeopleonplus.com.
And I just put it out on Twitter with the hashtag SchreckTeck.
Okay.
So for those of you who didn't hear me in the beginning, I'm not able to see the chat room. So put your questions, put your notes, and then I'll compile those and put those on our Facebook page instead of our chat room chat.
Cool. Now here's another cool thing, Gina, and I'm sure you've already done this. So if you have, I don't want to repeat myself.
Oh, repeat,
but this is a search that. Again, I use the example of a photographer. And so what I did was I just went into advanced search, and I put all these words, photographer needed, and I then just picked a zip code, 1,000 in New York, and I just put in 1,000, but you can obviously change that down, significantly within 1 mile. And when you go ahead and search, what will happen is, if Twitter doesn't can on me, all the people that say Toronto photographer needed. Okay, well, this one happens to be a volunteer one. Let's see, event photographer needed, looking for a skilled photographer for a 3-day shoot. So real estate photographer needed. And so it's just great for these people to come in, make this part of their, here's one, photographer needed who can be paid in restaurant jewelry, gift cards, or otherwise. Wow.
Hey, I can be paid in shoes and jewelry.
We'll shoot for food.
Right, we'll shoot for food. I was just thinking of that.
I've even got my camera right here.
And that's really cool. I mean, you can also, in the advanced search, obviously, you could say, if you wanted to do some competitive analysis, you could just say, photographer. You could pick the location, and you can actually say with a positive, a negative, response. So you can start to see, is anybody talking kind of bad stuff about them. Another tool I use a lot, this happens to be a company that is a competitor to one of the companies that we work with. And so we use a search on Twitter that's basically from : these are just Google kind of standard search criteria, WHCC Pro, or in caps, to WHCC Pro. And what this will show us is it'll show all the messages from them as well as the messages to them. So, they like their metal prints. They're excited about the new backdrops that they announced today. Obviously they're doing a great job with quality. So it's a great way to keep tabs on what's happening, from a competitive standpoint.
Right. And
I don't know if you've shown this, so I don't want to go too much into it if you already have. But there's all different kinds of ones that you can do. I mean, you could do, WHCC Pro or competitor, and then it'll show you in the tweet stream, what's being said. And I was teaching a class in January at CES, a 2-day boot camp, and it was right after the Christmas season, and a lot of these professional labs are just bombarded. Christmas is one of the biggest holidays. And boy, I'll tell you, you could see that some people weren't happy with what was happening, from a competitive standpoint. So it's a great way that you could come up with a great blog article, or, I'm not saying steal the customers away, but, obviously you need to keep tabs on that. So think about how hard that would have been in the past to do in the old days.
I love it. And now there are people who get kind of creeped out going, isn't that, kind of stalking? But these are things that people are putting on their Google, they're putting out there in the
Twitter,
public.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like you're going to those sites where you're finding someone's address and income and everything else. I mean, this is stuff they're writing on Google, so on Google+.
And it's funny, you can even do you could do hashtags. So we could do, hashtag iPhone, I don't know if this is a good example, or hashtag Android. And so you can actually search hashtags as well.
Right, because hashtags work in Google+ as well as Twitter.
Right. So that's, a couple tricks that I use. And again, I use this from a competitive monitoring standpoint. I use it, for kind of recruiting, new potential clients. And I think that's the beauty of social media. When people ask me, how do you define it? It's like, it's marketing all wrapped up in one,
It is. It's marketing, it's customer service, it's everything. I mean, that's what earlier I was saying, social business. It's like every part of your business should be, how is this being shared? How can this be shared? What will this do with my customer interaction? I mean, everything that we do in our business, we really have to start thinking differently. If I'm looking for clients, what's the social aspect? So I love it. But now the one that blew me away, because I've never used Facebook search.
Okay.
Really I go up and I search for a page.
So you just basically go up in the search bar, Gina, and you can type in any phrase. So I just typed in my toilet broke. So let's pretend I'm a plumber or something, right? Okay, here's Haley Wilkinson. My toilet is broke. It's leaking water everywhere. All right, so, you could put in anything here. A roof, my leaf broke or my roof leaked. I need a new iPhone, I mean, whatever you want.
That's interesting, because all I ever did was put in people's names.
Nope, just like that.
This is actually interesting.
And then you go here, and then what you do, Rick, is you just click down here on public posts. and then it'll
I think
display
we
them
just
all.
lost Gina. No, there she's back.
Now I'm back. I keep going in and
Now
out.
that's kind of weird. You dialed me and you brought yourself back. Now that's I've never seen that happen before.
Rick, it's magic.
She
Let's
has
just call
powers.
it
She has
internet
powers
magic.
beyond everything.
Now, here's the trick with this one, though. Okay, so I just typed in, I need an iPhone. And sometimes it'll actually tell you, where the person was, right? I don't know if you guys can see this, 7 hours ago near McCook, Nebraska. But sometimes, like down here, it doesn't. And so what you would do is you'd click here and hope that that person's profile is, which this person happens to be. I might want to go into active. Oh, she lives in Lancaster, California. So, let's see, I'll try one here.
So where is this pulling the information from? Is it pulling solely from their profile?
Right from the post itself.
From the post. Wow. As long as it's a public post, which most of them are.
Right. Let's see.
Yeah.
Now, I did that one, and I actually put in Denver. I'm going to see if anything comes up. Nope. So I'll just do I need a photographer. So I said I need a wedding photographer, Denver. So let's just do this.
Again,
again-
got my camera handy.
There we go. Public posts. And here, need a wedding photographer, need senior pictures. Okay, these people are, so here you can actually see what, some of your competitors are actually doing. Okay, here's one. I
wow.
really need a photographer for my wedding, like soon. Anyone know anyone? So again, I would click on this person's profile. And even if it's not, you always do have the option of sending this person
That's right.
an email, right?
That's right. Yeah, send them a message. Send them a Facebook email and tell them that you heard that they were looking for a photographer.
Right. So pretty much what it does is it just searches everything in Facebook that's written in that post. And I just think it's a really cool, nifty little tool.
That is a
And
feature
again,
most
it's a
people
little
don't
bit harder
take advantage
because what's that, Gina?
I just said I think that's a feature most people don't even know about or
Yeah, it's a sensei trick.
Sensei. Thank you, Sensei. See, Rick is a black belt. Second degree
Oh.
black belt? Third degree black belt?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have a black belt per se. I did Chinese martial arts.
I actually have
belts.
a black belt on, but I stopped at purple belt because it was prettier. That's what I was telling people. I did taekwondo and stopped at purple. But anyway,
So-
Taekwondo wasn't good it wasn't good for the makeup.
It wasn't. It just didn't go. The whole black. No, but Georgia, that is such a great tip because I think on Facebook here we have 850 million people on there. We don't take advantage of those searches, and on Google Plus, and I think these are super. See, I keep wanting to say super ninja, but you know what? Nobody owns that word. That's a super ninja sensei trick.
Super sensei.
Now, Georgia, are you finding more professionals on Google Plus than you are on Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Rick, I got all excited about it, and I still am. It's just there's just so much you can do in a day. And
That's true.
I'm one of those people. I don't believe in, just the automation to the point where what I send on Facebook, I send on Twitter, I send on.
yeah.
I don't do that. I just don't
Yeah.
do that. So I could stay more active by automating it, but I need to be in there more than I am. But again, the new kid on the block is the word we're not supposed to say. Pinterest. In fact, I was playing with that a little bit today, and so again, here's, and I'm sure Gina, a lot of your followers know this, but you can search anybody's name, Pinterest.com/mine would be Georgia McCabe. Well,
Right.
here's one which is HH Color Lab, but let's say we wanted to look at one of their competitors, and so. And you can look at this a little bit differently. So I just put that in, and actually they don't really have a very active board themselves. But what I can see is the people that are liking their products.
Oh, interesting. And then you connect
Right.
with them.
Exactly. So
Oh, I love
so
that.
that's a little trick. The other thing that, I would love to do a contest on this, is like, and then this is totally off topic, but it really is totally off. This is not about social search right now. I was thinking about it this weekend, and I'm like, I would love to run a contest where we'd post a number of different boards, and people would somehow have to describe who that person was or what they do. Now, unfortunately, people can build this out, but you look at me, right? You look at me and you say, okay, well, she likes to cook. She wants some relaxation because of a backyard oasis and something here. Right. This board is actually called "There's Going to Be a Wedding," so one of my sons is getting married. Well,
that's a really cool idea. It's like, what can you tell about a person by their boards?
Yeah, I love that. I
do too. That is so fun because now Rick, we wouldn't know much about because Rick, do you have a board yet built on Pinterest?
No, I don't. But I do have an invitation from Gina.
Yes, he does. It's like that party invitation that nobody RSVPs to. He just hasn't. He hasn't done.
I did look at Pinterest, and I left.
You left.
He popped his head in and went, "Oh, it's too girly. I got to get out."
Okay. It was okay. It was just I couldn't figure out what to do in it.
It's all in the people you connect. It's like any of these social sites. It's who you connect with that really makes or breaks these social media sites. And on Pinterest, I have found a few favorites. I need to give a shout out to Marla Horn. I need to meet her. I have a girl crush on her, and I've never met her, but her boards are so gorgeous. She has the most beautiful picture. Marla Horn, Horn. I am fascinated by her just based on her boards. I tried to find her on Twitter. I think she's very mysterious.
I think your video has frozen because we only have part of your face showing.
Oh, gosh. Let me do that. There we go. She's very mysterious. I think that's even in her bio about being mysterious.
Georgia, you want to head on back into the video realm?
The video realm? Oh, sure. Yeah.
Rick's going, I don't want to just show my face.
I don't want to scare people.
I just think we need to spend more time, especially for, when we're using social media for our business, we need to spend more time being intentional, using the search features.
There we go.
Right.
Just learning these tips alone, you can be more strategic with your time that's so limited on these social sites.
So those are the sensei tricks for social
Those are very good
search.
sensei tricks.
Those are awesome. So do you have any favorite apps that you're always using, totally off topic of search, although maybe one of them is search, but any favorite apps that you use?
Well, obviously I'm totally hooked on Hootsuite. I've just kind of stuck with that. I've tried a number of them, but, that is just
I tried to go back to TweetDeck a week or so ago. I wanted to check it out again. Since Twitter bought it, I couldn't figure anything out on TweetDeck.
But TweetDeck hasn't changed.
TweetDeck looks totally different. Maybe it was the version.
It's exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no change.
You know what? I wonder if
it works as badly now as it did before. It's still it actually works pretty well.
That's not a Greek word. Unjgapach. I married a Jewish guy. So
I think
McCabe?
No, I never changed my name from my first name.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
That's right, because McCabe is McCabe is a very good Greek name. It's McCabe-populous. It's McCabe-populous. That's what it is.
Oh my God, you're going to have to read the book to know how.
I have to read the book. What's the name of the book?
Short Woman, Tall Order.
Okay. Is that out already?
It's coming out.
You going to be on Kindle?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good.
I'm really excited about that one.
Hey, send me a tweet when you have it. I'll buy it.
Oh, you don't have to buy it.
I love reading books.
I know.
Do you? So I love that one. Actually, Gina, another one I use a lot for my clients is a program called Social Report. Now, it's not very cheap, but, it's wonderful in terms of having a dashboard. One of the biggest problems when I first started out working with clients is, I wanted to make sure I stayed on top and had their, their weekly updates, their monthly updates. And it was just taking me forever to put it together. So Social Report, I pay, I think, $100. And I can have, I can't remember how many, maybe 10 accounts on it at that fee. But I got in on the ground floor on that. And what that does is it has a complete dashboard where my clients sign in. They have their own unique sign in their own unique password. They can see every tweet that's been sent out. They can see all the retweets. They can see all the mentions. They can see all the Facebook activity, YouTube activity, check all the demographics. It's phenomenal. It
Is
really
that
is.
social?
It's called
Is that
Social Report.
socialreport.com?
Yep, I love that.
Okay. I'm putting that on Twitter. I've never used that one. Do you know who's behind that?
You know, I think it's a fairly young startup. The guy's name, who I constantly, it's an Indian name. What the hell? Vikash. I don't know his last name. Whenever I have problem, I just email Vikash. But they're really great from a support. The other tool, and as time has gone on, and at first I freaked out when I looked at the price. But people who use like Infusionsoft and they're paying big bucks for email and shopping cart type stuff. Well, I think you really have to use that as well for some other things. So because, for us, we really, really try to get in the hearts and the minds of what our customers' clients are needing. So I use a tool called eCairn, ECAIRN.com.
ECAIRN.com.
And it is phenomenal. So, for instance, I just got a new client, and it's in the energy drink business. And I can go in and I can set up a project where I can import certain demographics. So I can say, okay, who would be interested in these? Well, obviously people who play sports. So I can go in and there's tribes already configured of bloggers that are like golf, tennis, skiing, hiking. There's working moms. So you kind of go through and you say, okay, who do you want to import? Or if you have, URLs of some competitors or whatever, you put that in. And then it takes all those blogs. So in this one instance with this project I'm working on, I have over 10,000 blogs. And then I can go in and I can create a topic and say, energy drinks, or I could say fatigue. And it will search all those blogs that I've imported in there with that search term and bring up the latest results, not only on their blog, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, forums, you name it. And it shows you, so every day I go in there and I already have my search criteria. I can see the latest article, so I can use that to tweet or to post. I can use it, I can actually find the information for the blogger. So if I want to reach out and say, hey, would you be interested in a guest post, or start that sort of dialogue. And then what you can do is you can actually search based on, let's say, that result that came up, and you say, I want to explore this. And it'll go in and it'll explore and pull out all the top keywords used by those articles in that topic.
Wow. And this, you said this
phenomenal.
is pretty pricey as well?
Yeah, it's like $200, but it's well worth it, honest to God.
Is it just $200 a one-time thing, or is it $200 a month?
A month.
Okay. So it's a power tool.
It really is, but what I would have to, either pay myself to do that research.
Yeah, I know.
Or pay somebody else. And then, look, it's all about value pricing. I learned that 30 years ago, And so it kind of allows, me to kind of set the bar as to, the kind of stuff that I can provide for my client.
And that's what we always say. The Hootsuite Enterprise, Hootsuite Pro, it's like if you're not using those, you're missing out on some really nice, all of these social dashboards. It's like you want to make sure that you're using the tools that save you time.
Exactly. I've gotten it to be a regular thing I think the one thing I learned when I first got into social media was, these tools come up and you get the 7-day trial or the 14-day trial. Put your charge card in, and all of a sudden you forget.
That's right. Well, ladies, this is our goodbye Georgia moment.
This was awesome.
This was like very informative. Georgia, you're a great guest, and you gave lots of good information.
Well, that's what I like to do, Rick.
It's like a Greek meal. I'm full.
I hope I can see you when I'm out in Denver.
I hope so. Let me know definitely when you're going to be here. We can meet and talk
and if you're ever out in the LA area, give me a call.
I will do that. I will see you all on Twitter.
That sounds great.
Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for putting up with our technical challenges. Hopefully it all worked out.
No problem, guys.
So for everyone in the chat room and for everyone who watches the recording, thanks for being here, and we will see you all next week on SchreckTeck. Have a good one, everybody. Thanks, Georgia.
Thanks, Rick. Bye,
Have
Gina.
fun, Gina.
Bye. Yeah, I know I will. Cupcake truck, where are you?
All right. Here we go.
There's our outro music.
Yep. Georgia left.
Oh, did she already hang up? She
has gone.
was booking it.
All right. So anyway.
Okay, so I lost video a couple times.